My name is Peggy Henson. I'm the director of Red Creek Wildlife Center. Red Creek is an all-species wildlife rehabilitation center which takes in over 2,000 animals each year. I started rehabbing like many people as a child trying to raise a litter of bunnies found in my yard. That was 50 years ago. Okay, I just aged myself. But back then, there was no such thing as licensed wildlife rehabilitators, nor was there anything like the internet. I lived in a small community. Information came from bookstores and our small local library. And believe me, there was little to nothing available to teach you how to care for baby wildlife. I got advice, along with a makeshift homemade recipe of milk, from my local vet, and I tried to figure out what an animal needed from what it received from its parents. As a teenager and a young adult, I cared for the occasional displaced robin, baby squirrels, and of course, more bunnies. And many of these animals died. Some lived, but many did not. In 1990, I applied to become permitted in Pennsylvania. Wow, what an eye-opener that was. Manuals and books were still scarce, but there was a network of people who were rehabbing the right way, and many were willing to share information. My first lesson when studying to pass the state exams came from a 3-foot stack of wildlife conference handouts shared by a wildlife rehabilitator over 50 miles away. Reading through the material, I learned a lot about diet, animal behavior, and having the right attitude toward rehabilitation. I also learned that the previous animals that died when I was caring for them might have been saved if I had known what I was doing. It became obvious that my amateur attempts probably caused those animals pain and suffering. It's also unlikely that those that I did save lived a full and normal life. That's hard truth to swallow, especially since I really loved those animals. Well, that was 26 years ago. Ever since, I've spent that time learning everything I possibly can, buying every book, attending every conference I could reach, gathering handouts from conferences I couldn't attend. Today is better in many ways. Books are available and almost every state has wildlife rehabilitation conferences yearly or every few years. There is a national association and even an international association, and they have conferences every year, and all of these can be found easily today because of the internet. But the internet has hurt many animals as well. Misinformation and information that is downright wrong and dangerous can also be found, and it's very common. Since anyone today has the ability to create a website or blog and share anything to everyone, there are many websites out there freely handing out wildlife care instructions that kill animals. Don't believe me? Google what to feed a baby bunny and see how many websites teach to feed kitten formula. Kitten formula isn't anything like the milk that comes from a mother bunny, and it doesn't contain the right mixes of fats, proteins, and solids to raise a healthy baby rabbit. But there are many people out there offering this as if they're experts, and they have about the same knowledge I had when I was 15 years old and killing baby bunnies. Yes, some of your bunnies would live, but they will not have what they need to thrive. Reliable resources such as wildlife rehabilitators won't share this information to just anyone. Why? Because possessing wildlife, even if it's to help return it to the wild, is illegal. And also because a little information can hurt as much as the wrong information. You don't see doctors blogging about how to perform their own appendectomies at home. One thing that's also been missing all this time is formal education to become a wildlife rehabilitator. We've had volunteers with college degrees in wildlife biology and wildlife management that have told us they didn't learn anything about caring for a baby animal until they began to volunteer for us. Even today, very little is available in formal education, and 6 years ago, we set out to change that. I began locally, teaching weekend classes in wildlife rehabilitation basics, and offered these classes for several years. I've learned something else. I have a gift for taking something complex, simplifying it, and presenting it in an understandable way. Last year, 2 of our young people here at Red Creek became licensed, and now they're in charge of the rehab program at Red Creek. Don't get me wrong, I'm still involved, but they have freed up my time so I can take these classes, digitalize them, and offer them to the world. And Wildlife EDU was born. At Wildlife EDU, we offer basic classes in many aspects of wildlife rehabilitation, including diet, examinations, fluid therapy, medical math, bandaging, and anatomy, to name a few. Our classes are accepted by many states as continuing education for wildlife rehabilitators. Our capture and transport class and the threatened and endangered species classes are the state guidelines for certification in Pennsylvania. Most states require permitting to rehabilitate wildlife, and the process to receive a permit varies from state to state. Many require passing a written test. And I must say, Pennsylvania's requirements are probably about the strictest. Our classes are not only designed to help you pass the state tests, but to give you the knowledge you need to rehabilitate wildlife the best way you can and offer these animals the best chance at returning to the wild and thriving there. We are adding new classes all the time. We also try to price them so that they're affordable. We know there isn't funding for wildlife rehabilitation, and we know most people are paying for this on their own and out of their own pocket, so we keep the prices as low as possible. Some volunteer classes and short courses sell for as little as $25. And we even have a nonprofit workshop that hopefully will help you grow and thrive as well. And because you took our quiz and were patient enough to listen to this entire video, I'd like to make you a special offer. If you bought all of our classes, it would cost you about $500 today. That doesn't include the classes that we are still developing. We offer full access to all of these classes, plus all future classes that we will be publishing. We have new ones that come out each year for about that same price, $500. But today, you can get full unlimited access for $350. This is not a yearly fee, and your membership never expires. That's a one-time, pay nothing again fee for all of the classes plus any we produce in the future. How long is this good for? As long as I'm alive and writing classes, and I'm not planning on going anywhere for a long time. To get this special offer, fill out the form below, and you'll be directed to PayPal. One more cool thing. As soon as you get a course, and it doesn't matter if it's this offer or a $25 class, you're already helping wildlife, because every penny goes to Red Creek to help rehabilitate the 2,000 animals that we take in each year. So you're helping right away. It's kind of like giving a donation and getting an education in return. Thanks for listening to me.